Evening, 6 o'clock here on the West Coast. My name is Matt Grant. This is MattTv, and we are doing it on Facebook Live. So thanks for joining me this evening. If you are in live and you join, drop me a line, say hi. But I want to start off every broadcast by saying this, and I encourage you to do the same thing. Start your day off and say this as many times as you possibly can. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I guarantee you by that second time, you got a smile on your face. Jen, how are you? So, thank you to the universe. Thank you for waking up this morning and drawing breath and getting to work and rehearsing. And I was a bit under the weather earlier today. There was something going around. I had to come home and just shut my body down, get some rest. But here I am, and I'm so thankful to be here with you this evening. Shout-outs. I'd like to incorporate this into my show. I want to give some shout-outs right now. A good friend of mine, one of the guys I work with. Hi, Liz. Hi, Lori. He goes by the nickname of Two Fried, and he's a young lad. He probably doesn't like to be called young lad, but he's a great freestyle rapper, and when I get his permission, I would love to throw some of his stuff up on my website, and you can check him out. So, but getting back to Two Fried, aside from being a great rapper, he lives out in the valley, and most mornings he has to commute into an area that is geographically a great distance from where he is. But what does he do? Because he wants to work, he has to get up at 5 o'clock for a job that doesn't start until 7:30. 9 times out of 10, he is at the job site way before his employer or supervisor. So hats off to Two Fried and to all the workers that have to use public transportation to get from point A to point B. That just says to me you're dedicated and you're just looking for a break, and thank goodness for public transportation. So good on you. Another shout out to local Carleton County boy. I haven't seen this individual in quite some time, but a big shout out to Brendan Green, the Reverend, at Unit 777. Great musician, like I said, a local guy. I would love to maybe get Brendan Green and maybe do a Matt chat that we can upload here. Like I said, I have lost touch with Brendan, not really sure. I know he's in the Woodstock area. I know he's still playing, but I don't know the degree of what his setup is. So support your local talent wherever you are. I'm going to talk about crocheting in a moment. For you individuals out there who make things, hello Donica, who make things with your hands that have the power to heal people. And don't kid yourself if you don't think that when you take the time to make something and you put love into it, that energy, it soaks into the fabric, the very material, the substance. And when that's passed on to someone else, it heals them. And I have proof. I have a quick story. So I'm going to show you a work of art that my wife did a few months ago. It's an unbelievable piece of crochet, and I'll show you in a bit. Big shout out to the youth workers. Today's youth they're today's youth, man. You know, there were adults that looked down on us when we were growing up, and vice versa. It's a vicious cycle. There are tons of great youth out there, and you can find them on Facebook. I encourage you, if you're doing something great for your community. Hello, Paul, if you're doing something. Hey, Nick, if you're doing something great for your community, there's nothing wrong with getting video of it and sharing it. It's all about sharing the energy, right? So hats off to the youth workers. A shout out to Marcus Harvey. Marcus Harvey has kept me, Marcus Harvey and his family, I think he has 3 boys. Actually, I'm pretty sure he has 3 boys. But that trio of boys and their father have kept me in stitches over the months. Very interesting Facebook post. So a shout out to Marcus Harvey. I loved his greatest video, or not his greatest video yet. It was his latest video. It was called The Warm Tropical Breeze in Majorville. It seemed like it was anything but. So I don't know how much scotch he may have gotten into. And finally, last shout out to C103, Moncton's Rock Station, the rock of the Atlantic, as they say. Especially a big shout out to Crawdaddy and Dude. They are bringing pirate radio to you Saturday nights, 9 to 11 on C103, Moncton's Rock Station. Woo! So those are my shout outs. Hello, Sheldon. Good evening, Nick. How are you? Thanks for being back. So a lot of things, a lot of shout outs. If there are any shout outs that you would like to do to a friend who's listening, hello, Chris. Feel free, use this platform to get in touch with people. We've had some great conversation over since Saturday morning, and there is no reason to stop the party. So if you take public transportation for any great distances, share a story. If you're a musician and you're looking to, and you teach music, maybe you want to build up your clientele, let's work something out here. Drop a line. Share your Facebook page. This is what it's all about. Youth workers, if you're a youth worker or you know someone who is being helped by a youth worker, the next time you see them, give them a pat on the back. They truly deserve, the times that we live in can be quite challenging. Woo, that was a very exhaustive few moments, and we're only 6 minutes into MattTv. So if you're watching live, welcome. If you are watching later on, thanks for taking the time out of your day to sit down and watch me for 60 minutes. Hey, Pete. Looking forward to some baseball coming up in June. Two Fried, how you doing? Going to get to Seattle, it looks like, in early June to see the Blue Jays and the Mariners. Going down with a great buddy of mine. I'm sure everyone knows who that is, Peter Margerson. It was an interesting story today on Snoop Dogg and President Donald Trump. You can read all about it on Facebook. When I read the tweet that was sent in defense of Snoop Dogg by the rapper T.I., I believe, I didn't know the full story, and then I saw the reason why Trump was a bit upset. Does he have reason to be upset? Someone that I don't know if Snoop Dogg and President Donald Trump have ever met, but personally, if someone made a video about me and it ended with them pointing a gun at me and shooting, even though a fake bang came out, I would be, I don't know, I guess I don't know how I would feel about that. But as the President of the United States, you got to grow thicker skin, man. Your thin's just got to be thicker, and honestly, you have to concentrate on bigger issues. Hey, Rob, how are you? Yeah, there's much bigger issues in the world than a music video. I mean, let's get serious here. Let's get serious. Let's not get off on a rant on anything political, but it makes me laugh sometimes. Hello, Miles. There were, so British Columbians, we have an election to look forward to. I think we go to the polls May 9th. The legislature had their final session today, and as you can imagine, grown adults with government titles just fighting back and forth. So I'm going to have that story. It's being supplied by CKNW, News Talk 980 out here in Vancouver. So I'm just going to read a little bit of the story, and then I actually found an audio clip, and I'll share that audio clip with you a little bit later on in the show. Some other links, some other things that you might find interesting, and most of the things that I'm talking about right now, you can find on my own Facebook page. I realized today that I'm going to use Facebook for, and it was the mainstream, not underground. Look at this song. Yeah, I'll have to investigate that stuff later. But that stuff, I don't even know why I started the discussion about it. But you're not going to find any of that type of stuff on my Facebook page. You can find it. All you got to do, you go to Facebook and all that stuff is there. If you want to search for it, if you want to know what's going on with President Donald Trump, by all means, knock yourself out and see what's going on. My page is dedicated to uplifting people. Hey, Greg, how are you? With inspirational stories. And one individual who I've never met, but I've come to respect a great deal, and I've only seen his post on Facebook. His name is David Wolf, and my wife Jennifer introduced me to David Wolf, not personally, but sharing his post on my Facebook. And I've put his latest video up on my Facebook page, and it's a video where nonprofit organizations, carpenters, and teens have got together and developed and produced these tiny fold-away homes for the homeless. Because homeless people, and I see a lot of homeless camps out here in the lower mainland, homeless people are continuously being driven from one location to the other. Anyone who spent any time in a big city has probably heard the term tent city. They're called tent cities for a reason, because they can become rather large and they can become rather messy. Tents, garbage. There's one right now along the highway in Burnaby and the Coquitlam border. It's just unbelievable. It's mind-numbing how they even brought all that stuff in there. Hello, Uncle Brian. How are you? So this video, it has a description, but it's just so... I love when people come together to help someone who's not as fortunate as they are. These fold-away homes for the homeless, they're built by teens, carpenters, and a nonprofit organization. You can see all that stuff on my Facebook page, because homeless people, like I said, they get moved from location to location. So they're ideal for those that are moving every 3 to 18 months. Can you imagine if you just settled into your home and you were asked to leave after 3 months, a year and a half, you go somewhere else, and there's always someone breathing down your neck. You know what that tells me? Let's do more to get people off the street. Let's have housing that's a little more affordable. Let's think outside the box. And we are doing that quite literally here. They're building places out of shipping containers. We've come a long way, but we have so much further to go. So you can check out that link. Big shout out to David Wolf. Like I said, my Facebook page is going to be full of inspirational stuff. If you have an inspirational story that you want to share, put it up on my Facebook page, but please just share it. Also, the TelegraphJournal.com is reporting that a New Brunswick-developed cancer detection test is going global. And that's going over somewhere in Europe. I'm just going to pull that story up right now, because I did my homework and I actually am somewhat prepared for the show tonight. So according to the TelegraphJournal.com, Dr. Rodney Ouellette, who's the president and scientific director at the Atlantic Cancer Research Institute, he said Wednesday, so this would have been yesterday, that a liquid biopsy cancer detection technique developed by a Moncton-based lab has been licensed for use in Europe. So for all those individuals who had any part in that, I love you guys. So if you want more on that story, you can go to the TelegraphJournal.com. Like I said, we're talking about a New Brunswick-developed cancer detection test that has gone global. And I just want to say one thing about cancer. In my personal opinion, you can't tell me that someone's not hiding the cure to cancer. That's all I'm going to say. Also on my Facebook page, and I put this up a couple of weeks ago, and I saw it again, and I know... a friend of mine, Brian Murray, liked it, and a few other people liked it. I don't know, maybe they have a background in the military, they've jumped out of planes before, they know what that rush is like. But it's a video of a bunch of Navy SEALs jumping out of an airplane, landing in a sports stadium below. And one of the individuals must be a GoPro camera on. But it is the most exhilarating. There's a very minuscule part of me. That wants to jump out of a plane, but there's a bigger part of me that loves my feet on the ground. Why jump out of a perfectly good plane? Great video, unbelievable. The timing, logistically planning all that stuff, that would just be such a trip to document spend the day with the Navy SEAL parachute team. I guess I don't know if that's the correct term for them, but can you imagine? I think if I was ever assigned that and they asked me that the only way that I could do the interview was to jump, tandem, I'd probably do it. So check that video out. Great. What a rush. What a rush. You know, the video starts off at them at, I don't know what the altitude they're jumping at. Randy, aye, first time viewer, MattTv. I'm so glad you're here. Hope you're healing up. Love you, man. Miss you. I'm glad I had the opportunity to hang out with you this summer, indeed. I don't want to get sidetracked. Navy SEALs, yes. I would probably jump out of a plane with the Navy SEAL in order to get that interview. But what the cool thing is, you can sense the camaraderie, you can sense the brotherhood, the love with these individuals, and you can hear them talking because they're doing their show on the way down, right? So even that point of view is just a trip, man. But for them to, when they get closer to the stadium and you're waiting just to hear. Oh, okay, they're at that elevation when they can hear the 40, 50, 60,000 people that are cheering. And they glide in, perfect landing, they're high-fiving their buddies, and the camera's still rolling. Such a trip. If you like high energy and just adrenaline-type video, Navy SEALs jumping out of a plane into a sports complex on my Facebook page. Check it out. Also on my Facebook page, I love this today, absolutely love it. All I know is it has 31 million views and counting. It's this elderly couple, and I can only assume they're at a dance contest. They are tearing up the dance floor. If you have an opportunity, if you have an elderly family, this is a great video for them to see. Also, another video that I saw this afternoon, it's called Race the Tube. And quickly, all that is, there was an individual, this is in, I think it's in London, but you had you had two individuals. It had a split screen. One guy had his GoPro camera on, and the other one stayed in the subway car. When the doors opened, the one guy ran out, up to street level, ran to the next station and down before the other subway got there. Hence the name, Race the Tube. So if you think you can just hoof her along and you got some wicked endurance, check out my Facebook page. Check out the link, Race the Tube. With the transportation system out here with the SkyTrain, which I have worked with for the last 4.5 years, I don't think there is any, well, it's above ground for one thing, but there's no way that an individual could run from one station to the other in the time that the trains get there. But Race the Tube, quite interesting. It's probably going to catch on wherever there are subways. And also on my Facebook page, I put up a link to my brother Jeff's artwork. So check that out, share it, and support local artists. So much talked about in the first 18 minutes. 18 minutes after 6 here on the West Coast. My name is Matthew. This is MattTv. We are doing it all live on Facebook. So glad you're a part of the show, watching it live or watching it later at your leisure. So I was thinking about, I think I'll do this story right now. The mural behind me. I just pulled up the Facebook page here now. My wife did this. Quite nice. It's amazing. And this is something that she did many years ago. She breathed. She has what she's doing now, and maybe what you have done, Randy, you've allowed me a little segue into what I was talking about earlier, and I wanted to give a shout out to anyone who does knitting. My great aunt used to knit us mittens, scarves, and hats every Christmas. We knew exactly what we were getting almost 364 days in advance because we knew we'd be getting mittens the next year. Thanks for the advice, Laura. What was I going to talk? Oh, yes. So a big shout out to those who make things with their hands, whether it is pottery, anything you do with your hands. If you're planting fruits and vegetables, you know that you're giving it that love, right? And I have something here that has so much love in it that it made a trip to Ontario to heal an individual in the hospital. So I'm going to, I wrote it down here. Oh wow, a whole other page. Okay. So this is, what I'm going to show you is a mandala. And it's called Sophie's Universe. And my wife worked on this for a long time. Like collectively all together, oops, sorry. Collectively all together. So a mandala is a spiritual and ritual symbol in Hinduism and Buddhism representing the universe. So that is the definition. So I'm going to show you a piece that Jen did. It's been a while, but it is just an amazing piece. Okay, I'm going to get back to my Facebook so I can... That's awesome. You know what, Laura? I look forward to this nightly as well. So I'm just going to take my mic off, and I'm going to move a chair, and I'm going to hold up the creation that my wife did, and I'm just going to be quiet, and I'm just going to hold it up like this so you get an idea how big it is, okay? But I won't hold it up very long because I don't want it to I don't want to stretch it. So hold on talking for a bit. Just enjoy. You ready? Get quiet in here all of a sudden. So, wow. Yes. That is something that it is beautiful, isn't it, Nick? My wife did that, and she has since created, now this has made it to, this went to Ontario, and an individual needed it. And we mailed it, and he wrapped himself in it, and he was a much better individual for it. So I have some beautiful ladies who are watching right now. Can one of you ladies take a guess on how many stitches approximately are in that work, that mandala called Sophie's Universe? How many stitches approximately do you think are in that beautiful piece of work? She doesn't sell them. Well, she certainly won't be selling this one. But she, Laura, you'd have to send her a private message and talk to her. I'll show you another piece tomorrow night. I think it's called The Circus. And it is just... She does mixed media art. She does crocheting. She is doing stamp art now. She is one of the most original, outside-the-box artists I have ever met. And I love her with all my heart. Oh, over 1 million? No. Bring her down some. Bring her down. Reel her back, Donica. Less. It's a lot, but it's not that those are some pretty staggering numbers. She'd have to go out and get new hands. She would have just, right down to the nubs. I've been crocheting for 3 years. It is, oh, Donica, me holding it up in front of the camera doesn't do it justice. It is, there are so many different, like each, you start off in the center, and then you just go around. So every rotation is something different. There's flowers in there. There's grass in there. It's just, yeah. Me holding it up, I'm glad that everyone appreciated it, but 3,000, way higher. Yeah. It's between it's between 50,000 and 56,000. It's a lot. But yeah, thanks for the kind words. I'll pass that along to 30,000. No, a little bit lower. Or sorry, a little higher. It's 55. Game over. Oh, you know what, Laura? It is, yeah, we figured it out. It was around, it was around the 50,000 mark. It was somewhere like 50, 55,000, but I think it was closer to 50. So, ding, ding, ding. 52. Nice work, Laura. Yeah, so that was, but what was really great, I was fortunate enough to see it just grow and grow and grow. You know, you go through stages or long periods of time where you just get into a zone, and that's all you do. You know, you get into a zone, and all you're doing is you're just zoned into your adult coloring book, right, Phil? Welcome to MattTv. How are you? He's not too far away. He's out in the valley. Phil, you are a resident of British Columbia, and so are, Laura and Derek that are on here. How many hours? I'd have to ask Jen, but we're talking dozens and dozens and dozens of hours. We're talking weeks of yeah. But you know this house. You come into this house and there's such a good vibe, and you sit down on the couch and you start doing something, and then you turn around and it's like 3 days later. Hey, Phil, listen. Quick story. We're both residents of British Columbia. You're probably just as excited as I am. We have an election coming up May 9th. I went to during my day, I don't really follow the news, so if I'm talking about any news right now, it's 10 o'clock back east for most people, and this news is old news. But I wanted to tell people back east that we, out here in British Columbia, are getting ready for an election. And you can just imagine it's between the Liberals and the NDP. So this is how it played out today, just quick government stuff. So, but it's awesome. The ending, I think you'll like it. So, cool. So, MLAs, Phil, stay on here. Phil, stay on here. So, MLAs from around the province are heading back to their ridings. The last session of the legislature before the election ended today. It ended today they're getting ready to do campaigning for the next couple months. So Premier Christy Clark used the session to accuse BC NDP leader John Horgan of not keeping his word. Now, this is where the mudslinging goes. And I'm quoting from the Premier Christy Clark. He says one thing, he does another. Political fundraising, a flip-flop. Kinder Morgan, a flip-flop. LNG, a flip-flop. But Horgan fired back, saying Christy Clark avoids talking about the issues. Quoting Horgan. I thought on the last day of this Parliament that the Premier and I could have a civil discussion about the issues that matter to British Columbians, but it's all politics all the time. And I found, I don't know how, but I found a sound clip, Phil, from the Legislative Assembly today as all the MLAs were leaving. Here it is. Have a listen. That's an actual soundbite from the BC legislature today. Okay, that is enough. That's enough. I'm not sure who that was, if that was Christy Clark or John Horgan. So yeah, that's what we have to look forward to out here. 2 months of just grown adults not really telling the constituents what they're going to do for them, but spend more time just dumping on this guy and back and forth, back and forth. Oh, I wish there was like a third party, fourth party, fifth party that would step in and actually govern. Wow, there's a concept. Do something for the people. You know what, Laura? Not having cable And being out of the political loop, that's all right. I don't get into, like, I just found that story, you know, we're getting ready for election, it's topical. Just like earlier, talking about President Donald Trump's outrage on Twitter, of course. Where else are you going to find his outrage but on Twitter? Going off against Snoop Dogg, and then T.I., one of Snoop Dogg's friends, responded, and that is a pretty epic tweet that's making its way around the World Wide Web. So if there's anyone in the Carleton County area that is familiar with the Reverend at Unit 777, Brendan Green, I would love that individual to give me a call. I'd love to promote what he is doing in the Woodstock area. If you're an artist of any medium, or if you have your own business, you want to get something off the ground, you want to get something off your chest, you want to say hi to someone else, but just don't know what to say, and maybe you want someone else to do it, send me the info, and I'll put it up on my Facebook page, and we will go from there. Michael David Miller liked a photo I shared, but I'm not really sure what photo that is. But I'm glad you liked it, glad you shared it. Seeing some people on here who I haven't seen before. And if you like what you see in here, by all means, share it, watch it at your leisure, and tell your friends. This is MattTv. I'm your host, Matt Grant, and we're doing it all live, Facebook Live, from White Rock, British Columbia, here on this Thursday night, the 16th of March. Hope all is well. Glad you navigated through a Thursday, getting ready for the last, you know what? This is the last weekend of winter. Technically. More so for people out here. Oh, the photo people are liking, is that the flowers that I took of the flowers in my front yard growing? Most people, when I put things up of how green and lush it is this time of year, usually I don't get likes. So thank you for liking that photo. I can only assume that's what it is. But yes, this is the last weekend of winter. A cause for celebration. Maybe it's the last time you drink a lot of hard stuff just to keep you warm, because winter's almost over. I don't even know. Again, a big shout out to, I was talking earlier about those individuals that have to take public transportation. Go Saskatchewan. You know, I was talking earlier this week, I think it was on Saturday, there was a discussion, there was a trivia question about back in the 1960s, scientists discovered that there was an area in Canada where the gravity was actually less than on the rest of the planet. And of course, when I said that, it was a head scratcher, because most people don't even, how is that even possible? But I was under the assumption that it was somewhere in Saskatchewan, because I always hear people talking about there's a certain community, it slipped my name, but they're always saying how the people there always have a little bounce in their step. So I just assumed, when I think bounce and people walking, I think maybe Neil Armstrong walking on the moon, that type of bounce. Maybe not that less gravity, but I think it's somewhere in Saskatchewan where there's really not that much gravity. No scotch this winter. Cutting back. I need to not cut back. I need to cut up. I stepped on a scale yesterday. Was not thrilled with the weight. Got to eat more. I honestly believe my stomach has shrunk over the years. Got to eat. I don't know. I think my appetites. Do you lose your appetite as you get older? CFL was the reference. Yes, you were talking about, because you believe that I'm still a Saskatchewan Rough Rider fan. That's probably is that what you're indicating? You know what? I'm kind of torn. I don't really, I didn't really follow the CFL this year. And most of the players that I grew to appreciate when I was a Riders fan aren't even there anymore. I think Darian Durant got treated like crap when he was in Saskatchewan. I think he's now in Montreal. I don't know who invited the less appetite with age. I don't know who, that frog in my throat. He's gone now. So like I said, if there is anything that you want to share, I'm doing all kinds of sharing on my Facebook page. Doing all kinds of sharing. You need some inspiration. You want to feel good about the world and what other people are doing. You miss bacon? I can only assume that you're saying that you miss pork and you miss bacon. There's a funny video going around right now of this. Sometimes when you're going through Facebook, you see these videos and you don't really, if you click on them, you have audio. But I scrolled through and it was this little baby and he seemed really excited about bacon. Really excited about bacon. Inspirational videos, that's what you're going to find on my Facebook page. I mentioned earlier an individual that I haven't met, but I have great respect for. Some of the things he puts up on his Facebook page are amazing, and they're so inspirational. David Wolf, a shout out to David Wolf. I shared one of his videos on my Facebook page. It's about teens, young people, construction workers, and nonprofit organizations. Nonprofit organizations have got together, and they're building these fold-away homes. They're tiny, but they're fold-away homes, and they're building them for the homeless. Because homeless people, they get relocated quite often. If you live in a metropolitan area, you've probably seen tent cities or have heard tent cities, know what they are, have seen them in person. These are hopefully going to take people out of those situations. Get an individual into one of these fold-away homes built by teens, built with love, and these individuals can take them. And these tent cities, trust me, I've seen tent cities, and I think this idea here will be way, way cleaner and way safer for these individuals, because homeless people, they can be moving every 3 to 18 months. Imagine moving into a place and then having to move every 3 to every 1.5 years. Not a lot of fun. Big news out of Moncton, New Brunswick. So not only does Moncton have the Rock of the Atlantic, Moncton's rock station, C103, and I'm just putting the emphasis on the rock station. They also have individuals who have developed cancer detection test, and it is going to Europe. So Moncton, New Brunswick, you are on the global radar. Good on you. The most Canadian headline tonight from the Bugle, a story from what? Booze and maple syrup play role in standoff. An interesting thing about headlines in papers, the journalist, from what I believe, and you can't believe everything on the news, but from what I understand, the journalist gets the story and the editor gives it the title. So hats off to the editor with that title. That's just good comedy. That is just good comedy. They were snickering when they wrote that. And I'm hoping, I don't know the story, but I'm hoping everything ended okay. So hats off to Moncton, New Brunswick, and your accomplishment. Very nice. Navy SEALs. If you're thinking about jumping out of an airplane and you want to know what it's like before you actually do it, you can watch a video on my Facebook page, Navy SEALs jumping out of an airplane. And I think they're somewhere in the United States. Yes, I'm pretty sure they're somewhere in the U.S. They're falling into a football field. But you just follow the guy all the way down. They're doing their controlled fall and their formations, and then they break apart, and you got the POV and the GoPro. It's just amazing footage. And then when they get to the area where they can actually hear the crowd, that's when you just get goosebumps. I've seen people from the ground jumping out of planes, and they're just tiny little specks. And for me, I don't take my eyes off them because I just want them to be safe until they get on the ground. So if you've ever jumped out of a plane, you'll enjoy the video. If you're thinking about jumping out of a plane, watch this video and maybe make the ultimate decision as to yes or no. Going back to Moncton just real quick. Another shout out to Crawdaddy and Dude. They keep you entertained Saturday nights on C103. It's Pirate Radio, Saturday nights 9 to 11. Hey Tara, how are you? What if you were thinking about becoming a Navy SEAL? I think everyone at this age is probably ineligible, not even remotely qualified to be a Navy SEAL. And if you're talking specifically about us. But there are some pretty strict guidelines in order to even get into the military. I read a fact here a few days ago where you had to have all 10 toes. You had to have all 10 digits on your feet in order to get into the military. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but maybe a beach seal. That's probably as close as I'll get to being a Navy SEAL or seeing any type of SEAL. But go to the video. It's tremendous stuff. You can't take your eyes off it the whole way down. And for me, when they get into the stadium, it's just wow. Love it. Love that stuff. So you can find really cool videos if you have something of inspiration, something that you're doing, something that one of your friends is doing, and you want to share it here, by all means, put it in the comment. Because if you're not watching it live now, you may be watching it later at your leisure, which is totally cool with me. Because when I shut this off at 7 o'clock, what you do with it is what you do with it, right? You can make comments or you can scroll through, because there are thousands and thousands of videos on Facebook. And will mine stand out more than anyone else? Who knows? But I enjoy the views. There's more people that were watching than last night, and so on and so on. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Is there anything you want to discuss? Anything political that's happening in your life? This is an open platform. I've done lots of talking here tonight. If there's anything you want to talk about, ask me any questions. Feel free. It's an open platform. Mark Zuckerberg created this years ago. Not exactly sure how long Facebook Live has been around. If anyone knows that and can send me the information, that would be cool. Hey, dude, man. I love you, man. This, Jeff, I can't, like I've said from the very beginning, this is a platform for helping people, okay? I need this connection with people, okay? This helps me. This helps me get through my day. This is what I look forward to. I get to come home, sit in my garage, do Facebook Live, do MattTv, and connect with so many people from all over North America. For that, I am always grateful. To help people and to start with my own family, of course. If there's anything, like I said, it doesn't matter if you're my brother, my twin brother, my sister, mom, dad, family. If you know me, you know that I'm all about love, and I just want to help you out in any way that I can. So, like I said, if there's something you want to share, by all means, share it here. Put it on my Facebook page. Just get it out there, right? It's all about positive energy and sharing it and making it grow. We need more positive energy in this world if we want to make a change. So let's start individually and just link arms. Just give the world a big old hug. Oh, okay. This is going to be, I just went from like really, a nice quiet moment to, last night I had the chance to watch the last 50 minutes. The last 50 minutes of the second Independence Day. What was it? Independence Day Resurrection or something like that. When Independence Day first came back out many, many years ago, and I'm not even lying when I tell you this, the scene, well, when the aliens came, that was, okay, the aliens are here. And I got to remember, this is a movie. I get it. It's a movie. I get it. But I have a really weak stomach. And the scene when the aliens opened up their belly and just totally annihilated New York City, all I could think about was all the death and destruction. Again, I knew it was fake, but I just got this really upset feeling in my stomach, and I just really, but to me, I was like, wow, they really did their job in that movie. In that one scene, they probably didn't have the same effect on everyone, but it made me, I was there, I was just sick. And then last night I was watching the second part, and it was just, the aliens came back in a much, much larger ship. A ship that at the end of the movie looked like it was covering the North Pole, like a massive section of the upper half, the top part of the Earth was covered with a ship. And then they killed an alien, and then the big ship took off because they were defeated by the human race, more specifically the Americans. And then at the very end, I would have been like, you know, Darren, I don't. You know what, Darren? You're gonna have to. Can you like turn me off for a second? Okay. You know what? I'll save it. Watch it, and then let me know. And I won't do a spoiler alert. My lord. But the first one, the first Independence Day, didn't make me laugh. It made me rather upset. The second one that I watched last night, there were some laugh out loud moments, and it just seemed weird. I don't know. But I'm no movie critic, and I'm not going to stop anyone from going to watch a movie or do what you like. Do. You know, sometimes I think about how hard it is to yeah, I'm just waiting for someone to I don't know. It's an ending to an ending. I don't know. It is what it is. I won't spoil it for you, Darren. Enjoy the movie. Hey, Darren. I don't know if you are in touch with Brendan Green. Brendan Green, aka the Reverend at Unit 777. I'm just trolling. I want to get in touch with Brendan Green. Maybe do a Matt chat with him and throw that up on my Facebook page as well. Just trolling. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for all the likes. Thanks for all the shares. Greatly appreciated. Thank you. I think we're gonna do. We'll do a Friday night show, and then we'll take the weekend off. Everyone can go enjoy, like I was saying earlier, go enjoy the last weekend of spring. The last weekend of winter. Wow, I totally got ahead of myself. This is the last weekend of winter, and spring is on the way. Okay. Yeah, I was just interested to know what his Unit 777 is. Off to Mexico on Saturday. You are very lucky. Be safe, man. Be safe. Be vigilant. Be aware of your surroundings. Nope, I'm not going to restart my device right now. Let's try later. We are 12 minutes away from another conclusion of MattTv. I've said so much here in the last 50 minutes, and I'd love to hear back from you on some of the things. Let me know on what you think about, everyone's got to have have you ever traveled a great distance on public transportation, getting up at a ridiculous hour to get from point A to point B, where if you had a vehicle, it might take you 30 minutes. Public transportation turns it into an hour and a half. That's one way. Then you got to get home. Maybe you're in rush hour traffic. So if you get up in the morning and you don't have a job, but you go to a resource center or a Labor Unlimited or a place where you get hired for the day, get paid for the day, you get out of bed. Hello, Twyla. Hello, Chad. Whoa. You get out of bed to go get a job to make your community a better place. Awesome. Keep doing it. And someone was trying to call me. Never had that before. See, that's the beauty of live. Woo. So yeah, my name is Matthew. This is MattTv. It's on Facebook Live. Thank you so much, Mark Zuckerberg, for creating this many, many years ago. And people just have incredible talent, and I love the fact that people are putting up their incredible talent here, getting out of their comfort zone, and just having fun and connecting with people. No, this video is being recorded off my phone, Darren. And when the phone rang, it cut out. But I got my laptop over here, yeah. Dial-up. No, I think dial-up is still available in the Woodstock area. Because every time I talk to my mom and dad, they're always making comments about dial-up. I don't know. I'm pretty sure years ago there was a mouse and a wheel running really, really fast, trying to charge something. But I hope all is well in Quebec, in Montreal, Darren. I hope all is well with what's going on with you. Miss you, man. It was nice to see you last summer. And I don't know. I don't know what the schedule is. I know I'll be in Boston in a month. I don't know what's happening after that. We shall see. I'm pretty sure Kaya Moon. Get this. My daughter Kaya, I'm going to be buying bus tickets tomorrow. And the show tomorrow night, MattTv tomorrow night, will probably be a later show. It'll probably be like an 8, 9 o'clock show out here on the West Coast. So most of you back east will be, that's 1, 2 o'clock in the morning back there. So I'm not expecting a great audience from the East Coast tomorrow night, but I'm still going to do the show because I will be rather excited because I'm going to have tickets. I'll show you the ticket forms when you buy them. When I pick them up tomorrow, I'll show you the tickets for our trip across the United States of America. In a month from now, we will be somewhere in the middle of the U.S. heading towards Boston. May 27th, Tool. Yeah, Tool. I've always been a fan of Tool. I'm going to, a friend of mine is getting some tickets. I'm going to see Roger Waters at BC Place. I think it's in August. Metallica is coming out here. Guns N' Roses is coming here in August. Living in a big city, living in Montreal, all the fun stuff comes to your area, whether it's WWE or UFC, don't matter. If you're in a big city, you're having all kinds of fun. But I'm glad you're on here, Darren. Thanks for the chat. Enjoy the rest of your week and have safe travels. Have a good time in Mexico. Margison and I are going to Seattle in June to see a Jays game. If you want to fly out to Vancouver for a few days, you got a place to stay. So, I'm just going to kind of wrap things up here. It's amazing how quickly time goes. Pete has tickets for a June 10th. It's a Saturday, June 10th at Safeco Field. We're only there for the one game, but I think Toronto's in town for a 3-game series. So yeah, June 10th, it's a Saturday. Pete Margison, he lives in Kelowna. He's like 4 or 5 hours from here, man. It's nice to have Pete out here. My brother Mike's in Pincher Creek. He's only 12 hours away. And there's there's so many former Woodstock residents that live out here in the Lower Mainland. It's great. Oh, recovering. Well, we'll see you in the near future, man. I'm definitely going to try and get home in 2017. We shall see what happens. I guess if I put that thought out there, then it'll happen. So again, a big shout out to all the workers who have to use public transportation to get from point A to point B. I hope you are getting compensated in some way. You know what? As a supervisor, if I was working with someone and I was on a project and I was going to work with them for the week, knowing that they had to get to my job site by public transportation, they're traveling 2.5 hours daily, sometimes 3 hours, hour and a half there, hour and a half back. That individual would be getting coffee whenever they asked. And at the end of the week, they would be going out to dinner. That's just me. That's how I work. So if you use public transportation to get from point A to point B, if you get up in the morning to go to work, you're awesome. Again, Brendan Green, I'm going to read what you said later about Brendan Green. I know he's doing something at Unit 777. Great musician, support your local talent. Crocheting, I'll show you another piece of work tomorrow night. Woo! The piece that I showed you, Sophie's Universe. If you didn't see it live, you can go back and watch the program later. It's an amazing piece of artwork. It's a mandala. It's called Sophie's Universe. Roughly 50,000 stitches put together by my wife. Marcus Harvey. Marcus Harvey and his 3 boys have made me laugh continuously for months on Facebook. Just his rants and his videos. So I want to say a shout out to Marcus Harvey. Loved your latest video titled Warm Tropical Breeze in Majorville. It looked the complete opposite. So I'm just wondering, how much scotch did you have? Because there was no audio. So actually, I don't even know if it was Marcus. And Marcus, everyone knows Marcus likes his scotch. So it's not a big deal. Another shout out to, and again, C103. I listened to the Rock of the Atlantic, Moncton's rock station, C103, before I come in here. It's the music is great. And a little plug for Pirate Radio, Saturday nights, 9 to 11, with Crawdaddy and Dude on C103 in Moncton. Some links you might want to check out on my Facebook page. David Wolf, great guy, never met him. He's got some great inspirational videos that he puts up on his page. My wife shares them. I get them from my wife. I see it, and I share it on my Facebook page. What is he? Nick, can you send me your email address? Send me something privately where I can send you a link to Jen's artwork. Would definitely love for you to see her work as well. Offer them a ride. Indeed. Sometimes it's just not possible. So a big shout out to individuals who are making these fold-away homes, for the homeless, teens, contractors, carpenters, nonprofit organizations getting together, building these tiny little mobile homes for the homeless. So a big shout out to David Wolf for sharing that, and an even bigger shout out to the individuals who are, like I said, when you build stuff, when you put things together with your hands, you're putting it together with love. The energy, the love is soaked into the fabric, and it's passed on. It's scientific. Also, TelegraphJournal.com reporting that a New Brunswick-developed cancer detection test has gone global. It's in Europe. So hats off to anyone who is fighting this insane, crazy disease that has taken so many lives, cancer. If you are doing whatever you can to find a cure, love you. Hats off to you. Hello, Sarah, Crochet 2. Tents. No, teens. Talking about teens. No. These are fold-away homes. They're tiny little trailers that you can wheel around, because the homeless people, they're moving around every 3 to 18 months. So they're actual structures. The roof collapses to kind of secure everything. Brilliant idea. Thank you, David Wolf, for sharing that. Darcy, I completely agree. And like I said earlier, and this is just me, this is my own personal opinion, but I am not convinced that there isn't already a cure for cancer out there. That's just me. I think pharmaceutical companies have a big part in that. Again, that's my own personal opinion. TelegraphJournal.com reporting big news out of Moncton, New Brunswick. Hats off to everyone in Moncton. I have family there. Love Moncton. Used to love going to Moncton when I was younger to play baseball. We'd travel 2.5 hours to go down there and kick the butts of the local team in Moncton. So thanks for the practice. Also, on my Facebook page, you can see some information on the Navy SEALs. If you are thinking about jumping out of a plane, or have ever jumped out of a plane, or you just like videos that are full of adrenaline and just a good rush, and maybe you have done some videos with your point of view, check this video out on my Facebook page, Navy SEALs jumping out of a plane into a sports complex below, all from the point of view of one of the Navy SEALs. It is amazing, especially when they land in the stadium. You can see that on my Facebook page. Also a great video. I absolutely love this video. It's 31 million views on Facebook. It's an elderly couple, and I can only assume they're at a dance contest, and they are tearing up the floor. I don't dance. I don't think I ever could dance. This couple here, they are putting a lot of other people to shame. So good on them. Check that video out. It's on my Facebook page. Race the Tube, a new thing happening in London. People are actually racing from one subway station to the other, getting out of the train, going to ground surface, racing to the train before it gets there. Race the Tube. Check that out on my Facebook page. It's pretty cool, actually. You got the one camera guy that stays in the car, and then the GoPro guy is running. Truly amazing. I love it. Also, check out a link to my brother Jeff's artwork. Great stuff. So, all kinds of things to check out. We're going to wrap this up. We're approaching 7 o'clock here in White Rock, British Columbia. My name is... clear in my throat. My name is Matthew. My last name is Grant. This is MattTv. We're doing it all on Facebook Live. And we're going to go back tomorrow night, 6 o'clock Pacific, and we'll do it one more time. For the week anyway. If you like what you see in here, share it, like it, repost it, It's all good. This is an open platform for everyone. Love you too, brother. Everyone that checked in tonight and posted comments, thank you so much for being a part of the show. We will do it all again tomorrow night, Friday night. It's the last weekend of winter. And we'll see you then. Until then, peace, love, and be safe.